I think it's okay.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another week here on the Whiskeyed Gingers podcast. As usual, I'm Brandon, he's Chris, and this week, special recurring guest host, Mr. Jeff. Kind of a good way to kick off, kind of being back at this set. At least it's been, maybe like a month and a half since we've done it here. So it's got a full cast of characters, and
we are characters.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And we're taking a short break from our sampling of Proof and Woods whiskeys, just to kind of get to a whiskey that I was gifted, and it's a nice change. Plus, it's an Irish whiskey, which you and I kind of cut our teeth on Irish whiskeys, and we've gotten away from them from doing the pod since we've gotten a lot of ryes and a lot of bourbons.
I don't disagree with you. I did read this, though, by the way.
Okay, no, you're good. I'm texting somebody to turn the dome lights off. But yeah, so you've heard of it. I've never seen this before.
I've seen this bottle pretty often, actually, in the liquor store. And I'm just going to put the name up on screen here. You introduced it, right?
Yeah. Well, I didn't even mention the name yet.
We just said we were doing an Irish whiskey. So in general, I guess we'll get right into the name.
Yeah.
I'd rather not talk about it in third person as if it's not here.
Yeah.
So it's called the Dead Rabbit Irish Whiskey. I've seen this a lot in liquor stores in Pennsylvania. So
see, that's interesting. I've never seen the bottle before.
I thought it looked really cool. I've always wanted to try it. And I don't think we have. So it's time to give it a go. Jeff, have you seen Dead Rabbit before?
Dude, maybe. I don't know. I don't recognize it right off the bat. I'm sure I have, but
yeah, I'm surprised you. It's a pretty cool looking bottle.
The inside's cool too. Look at it that way. Saw it when it was sitting there. You can see the back of the label shows like it looks like a graveyard or something.
Oh, is it one of those? Like kind of how the Traveler does that too.
Yeah, it's got like a picture through.
That's kind of neat.
Through the whiskey.
Look through it, you see
Is it on this side?
It's the other side.
It's
on the main
from the
side.
small side to the big
one. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
I saw it when it was sitting there. I'm like,
Yeah, that's pretty neat. There is a very small chance that I've had this at some point in my passing, and I just don't remember it.
That's fair.
But I think that it's going to be really good. It's an Irish whiskey. We'll give it a go. We haven't done it in a while. I have to ask you, Brandon. We'll talk about this more when we try it. Irish whiskeys, and I hate to say this, for me, certain ones have actually gotten a little too sweet.
Yeah.
Since we've kind of developed our taste and like gone on this whiskey journey in general, some of them have gotten a little too sweet for me. Do you feel the same way, or?
If not done well, then yeah. Like honestly, it's kind of a bummer too, because like, that's kind of what got me into whiskeys in general. Yeah. But like, if I'm doing just like the run of the mill JMO, even is a little bit sweet.
Oh, now. You think so? I don't mind Jameson too much. And Jeff, your opinion on this, I think, has always been that Irish is a little sweet for you.
Yeah, a little bit. I grew up drinking bourbon. That's when I started.
He was a wee lad.
I was bottle fed on bourbon.
Yeah, no, I introduced myself to bourbon. This was the first whiskey that I really started drinking. So whenever I went something sweeter, Irish whiskey was that.
Love that.
Yeah,
it's like a dessert wine for wine drinkers.
I do like it though a lot. I've enjoyed it a lot more. I would say the last year and a half. So it's definitely bottles that I used to walk past in the liquor store that I now grab. So
awesome. Well, I'm gonna crack it open. We're gonna give it a try because we might as well, if we're talking about flavor here, try some.
This one's gonna be, I think, a beauty to really get open. I didn't see a tab if it gave us one.
It's very subtle.
Okay,
Chris, I haven't seen your opening in a while.
I know.
That I was here, so I'm excited.
Yeah, Jeff, you stepped in.
Yeah,
here we go. Oh,
that's a good one.
That was one of the better ones we've had in a while.
I think I'm just perfecting my cork popping skills here.
That was a really good one.
That was. I agree. A good sound.
Yeah, it's just cork pop at this point.
If it holds my whiskey in and it cracks open in a very loud manner, I'm okay with it.
I was trying to stump you to be like, well, I think you look for the shape.
We've already established multiple times on this show that we're not that sophisticated.
Yeah, we're idiots. It's just, if it sounds fun, it makes a cool noise, it's a good cork. We're still on our hunt for our first.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. Because even when we had Blanton's, it was not.
That was a synthetic cork.
That was also this kind of cork. But Jeff, you may know more about this than we do because we have never been able to answer this yet. We haven't done any research into it naturally. But is there such a thing as like a natural cork, or is it all synthetic?
I would imagine today's production, the How many bottles that you think they produce in a week?
Oh, a ton.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if there
I
is a
don't know.
natural cork material, they're not sourcing enough of it to do that.
I don't know enough about it. What about wine bottles? Do they use natural corks there?
Is that
think so,
even a
but they're
natural? Is that
absorbed.
even a natural
Probably
cork,
not.
or is it a synthetic thing and it just looks different?
Well, no, it's a wine cork's definitely way more absorbent than this is. You can feel this has like a glaze over
I
it.
agree, it's more porous, but I guess my question is cork in general a synthetic material?
Are you asking is cork real?
Is it a real thing or is it fictitious?
Is I feel dumb writing this. Is
We've
cork-
definitely searched stupider things
I
before.
don't know. That's up there.
is wooden cork real. Reddit. This is too dumb for the internet. to answer.
Clearly, I'm like way
I
underselling
know what
this
you mean,
question.
though. When you feel like a cork like that on a whiskey bottle,
Yeah.
it's like smooth.
They're very like
Cork is
compressed. Cork is a natural
Cork is a
material.
natural, renewable, and recyclable material made from the bark of cork oak tree.
Amazing.
Quercus suber.
If we're getting very Latin
Yeah.
and technical about it.
So yeah, cork is real. There is such thing as just cork.
Amazing. Okay, fair enough. So probably the wine bottle ones are like that. These
I
probably
think
not.
that yeah,
But let's give this a try, see how it is.
smells sweet.
Cheers.
We'll
That
see.
smells sweet.
Definitely on the sweeter side. Not bad, but sweeter.
What's
I'm
the proof
curious
on
to
this?
see.
It's
Yes.
definitely.
Oh, it's heavier.
Yeah,
Is
it's,
it
it's
heavier?
strong.
It's like 55, I think, percent.
I'm
110,
surprised.
Yeah,
44. 44.
The one you're
That's sweet.
thinking of is one we'll do. It's
Yeah.
It's good. I like
Yeah.
it.
I usually always say something first, so I figured I would let Jeff be
Yeah.
the one to rant in on it. No, I think it's actually really good. It tastes just like an Irish whiskey.
It really.
I really think that this is your super stereotypical Irish whiskey taste.
Yeah.
It tastes about damn near as close to JMO as you can get
Yeah.
as like a baseline Irish
That-
whiskey.
That's even closer than Four Walls is to Jameson.
To Jameson?
I think.
I enjoyed Four Walls more though, in a
Yeah.
weird way, and that has a lot to do probably just with the branding alone.
It does. I think it's a little bit more. Not sophisticated is the wrong word, but like multi-layered maybe.
Sure.
Like it had some other notes to it, whereas this feels like somebody who distilled this whiskey loves Jameson and tried to create their own.
Is it triple distilled?
I think
I think only
Aren't
Jameson
most-
can do that. Maybe not.
So I had to look it up because I was curious based on the name. Do you guys recognize the name at all of the bottle?
Dead Rabbit.
Dead Rabbit.
No,
So I looked it up. I was like, that sounds so familiar.
it's 5 years age. It does
So-
not say triple distilled.
It says the whiskey is named after the Irish immigrant gang of the 1850s in New York City, which was featured in the Martin Scorsese film Gangs of New York. I was
Oh,
like, I know that name from.
yeah, that's
So
cool.
yeah,
I never put that
cool.
together.
Little tip of the cap there.
Yeah,
That
I
is
never put
neat.
together. What's interesting is
It's a little gangster whiskey.
Yeah, no,
it's like
it's a
it's
good
a
movie.
tip to New York. It's imported by a company in New York,
Yeah, I saw that too.
but it's distilled and matured both in Ireland.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would think with with that American kind of heritage to it that it would be like a New York whiskey, just made in the spirit of Irish whiskey. Because most of ours they'll be distilled in one
Yeah.
place and the rest of the process happens here.
This is more so in Ireland than anything, really.
This is
So-
only distributed here, really.
That's pretty cool. That's neat.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That was cool.
We're hitting a little closer to the homeland then
Yeah,
today.
just a
So
little
Yeah, it is good. I mean, I definitely like it. So I know what this costs. Even though it was a gift, I had to make it awkward and ask for content purposes.
fair enough.
So, what do you guys think?
All right, I'm gonna guess, and this is based off of similar Irish whiskeys I had. Last time I was here, we did the Powers Rye Irish
Yeah.
whiskey, and I'm thinking it's
Awesome.
probably gonna be pretty similar there. 35 to 40.
Okay, you're too close to not pick a single number.
Okay, I'm gonna go 37.50.
Okay. All right.
37.75.
Right.
Closest without going over.
It was 45.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
It's good. I expected it to be probably anywhere from 35 to 45.
Yeah, 45. But that's
It's a pretty solid whiskey
It's
for the
good.
price. I mean,
Yeah.
this definitely fits within that. You can buy it, not feel guilty about the price, and keep it in the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
So
if you want to be a little different and keep like a house Irish in without it being JMO, this would be a great.
this
thing
is
to
a much
have.
more palatable bottle than.
Yeah.
I mean, Jameson is a big brand,
It's-
so
and
like
it's-
putting that on your shelf, people are going to know what it is. They're going to like it. But there might be some people that are like, I'm just not really an Irish whiskey kind of person. And then you put something like this on your shelf and they're like, that looks neat. I would like, it's clever marketing. It looks neat.
Yeah. You get people like us who might not love it, but they're interested enough to try it.
It's just something a little different too. How many times do you have Jameson
Yeah.
every so
yeah.
often? You have it pretty frequently, so this is a nice change.
I like it. I think it switches it up a little bit.
Yeah,
That's the whole like genesis of this podcast. Like, think we've been doing a whiskey podcast for 2 years. We've done Jameson once. We've never done Jack. Never will. Never did Makers. Like what we never. What's some other?
Jim
never
Beam.
did Johnny. We never did Jim Beam. Like, we haven't done.
Did we
any
not
of-
do Johnny Walker? I
No.
thought we might have done Double Black.
What's your
Oh, you might have had a special bottle or something.
Yeah.
What's your beef with Maker's Mark?
Nothing to do with nothing to do with the taste
Just
of
like,
Makers.
I
are
use
you
it all-
talking about my pride and joy?
Yeah, I use it in old fashions a lot.
I have no issue with Maker's Mark, but it's one of those things where, like, as this podcast has kind of grown, it's us finding whiskeys you probably haven't had.
Haven't heard of.
Off the
Okay.
beaten path, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good way to describe it. I mean, we got real close to that with Proof and Wood sending us those sample whiskeys to try because that's way out of the box for us,
Yeah.
at least. I mean, it's not something that we can get here, that's for sure.
No.
And I'm sure there's a lot of viewers that can't get that as well. So, I mean, that might open up some opportunities for them to try and ship it out to other places.
It's a fair point. So you open someone's liquor cabinet and it's Jack Daniels, you know, the same 4 bottles, Jameson, whatever it is.
I
Maker's
feel like
Mark.
we're biased because for me and even you, Brandon, at this point, we have so many different bottles of whiskey. And you even touched on this today, Jeff. It's like you're starting to build up
Yeah.
quite a collection. I'm starting to build up quite a collection that's nice. I didn't think it was that impressive until you start looking at what most people keep in their house. And to your point, Jeff, it's like maybe you have Jameson or Jack in the house, and that's about it. Most people keep like vodka in their house. Maybe they keep some tequila in there, maybe some rum.
Yeah.
Whiskey is kind of like an oddball out to begin with, and then for you to have a bunch of them is really rare.
Because typically, you know, the average, like I say, probably the average home who like entertains, you know, semi regularly, you have like a mid shelf tequila, a good vodka, and you know, like a Makers, like a Johnny
Yeah.
or something for whiskey, just to cover everybody.
Yeah.
I can see where it'd be a little bit jarring when you open like Chris or ours liquor cabinet and there's 10 plus whiskeys before you get into your other spirits. Although I don't really I have a bottle of Kirkland vodka. I don't have any other
Yeah.
like spirits really in the house. I know yours is a little bit more well rounded.
I think that's mainly from parties. I mean, people will come over for a party and they'll like leave whatever they don't drink there. So I have some oddball stuff hanging around the house, but I mean, really the feature piece is whiskey because that's what I keep in and want to have. I'm not really one to pour a vodka drink at my house when I'm just kicking back, but that's just me personally.
And I know I've seen on social media, like I know every once in a while Jeff's no stranger to a cocktail night at the house. So you seem to have a little more well-rounded of a collection.
Yeah, so one of the things that one of our friends got was a booklet on how to make a ton of different specialty drinks, which I enjoy. It's vodka, gin, really whatever you want. So we've been trying to do different stuff. A lot of them just call for 3-4 ingredients, get a shaker, and just go at it. You can make a lot of cool stuff.
You could do a lot with a lot of liqueurs too. Like I feel like getting into the mixed drink
Is that like
game
a French beer?
can be like the liqueurs are like triple
Liqueurs.
set.
Come on.
triple sec and shit like that, peach schnapps. You can get into a lot doing that, having that in the house, but it seems intimidating because you start looking at certain mixed drinks and you're like, well, this requires this mixer, this requires this mixer. But I think you could probably go online somewhere and find out what are the best mixers to keep in that you could do like 50 drinks with.
Vermouth, triple sec. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm
there's,
thinking,
a
like
simple syrup,
Peach schnapps, things like that.
bitters,
Yeah,
there's a lot.
there's a lot that you can do that with, and it's pretty good.
But you're right. Not to go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sweet
All
dry.
right, Chris, you're
vermouth
due for a
stuff.
pun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of options, and I know, and it's like you find yourself buying not whiskey bottles in a sense. You're getting vermouths and mixers. So
Yeah.
I can.
I'll tell you what, they get expensive though. I mean, like, when's the last time? You don't have to buy it often, but like, if you guys have bought bitters recently,
Yeah.
they're very expensive. It's like 20 something bucks
And
for a
it's-
small bottle of bitters.
Yeah.
But to be fair, you're using
How long? does
3
that
dash.
last?
Yeah,
Like,
I've only
a year
ever
and a
bought
half?
one.
Yeah.
So, but like, the sticker shock is a little impressive when you're getting into going to the store to buy that. Simple syrup is expensive. I don't really like buying simple syrup because I'd rather just buy the sugar cubes if I'm doing old fashions and stuff at home. Plus, it's a little bit more like, I feel like you have to put a little more work into it, so it feels a little bit better when you finally take that sip of your old fashioned. If you're muddling your sugar cube a little bit, So
Yeah.
a little extra work. I get
that's
that.
my take on it. I
It
could just
tastes
be.
better too. I don't know. Sometimes when you get that store bought simple syrup,
Yeah.
it's like so sweet.
Oh, it
that
is super
When
sweet.
you want to put like a, I guess, shot or an ounce worth, you end up doing half of it because it's too
Yeah.
much.
Well, because you can make your own simple syrup as well, and many people do.
Yeah.
But I think I'd still probably go with the sugar cube over
My
everything.
dad makes it himself. He boils hot water and then he just puts
Yep.
sugar in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, not to be. This is an apolitical podcast. I'm going to keep it that way. While we're talking about sugars, though, for anybody who has been south of Florida, we'll call it, and pretty much anywhere in South America, but especially in Mexico, you know their Coke tastes different. Coca-Cola.
I was going to say, are you trying to tell us something, Brandon?
Yeah. And there's
Yeah.
talks of this new administration forcing domestic Coke distributors to start using cane sugar as well.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to make a difference health-wise, but your Coke is about to taste phenomenal.
I don't know if that's going to happen. What did they just do with the Sierra Mist? They stopped doing that and came out with Starry.
Starry, yeah.
It's like 10 times worse for you. It's all
Is it really?
high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's better. They
Well,
cut
in
out-
general, if you
Well,
look
they're
at the
cutting that out. They're going to cane sugar,
yeah,
which is it's not better for you. Sugar, your body metabolizes sugar the same way. The soda just tastes better.
they used to do that on. I feel like Pepsi used to do that. They used to have Pepsi cans that said they were made with cane sugar or real sugar. I think was one of the labels that was on
You can
Pepsi
still
for
buy
a
them
while.
If you go to the grocery store, you
Yeah.
can get those like I don't- what are they, Mexican style Coke. I
Oh,
think is what they're like
Yeah.
advertised as.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can get.
they got Coke figured out
Have you guys had? They have like those Mexican sodas when you go to like Three Brothers.
now.
Up here.
Yeah.
Those are really good. I can't remember what those things are
Oh,
called, but
Jarrito or it's a J apostrophe.
yeah, I
something.
think it's Jarritos. Is how
Yeah.
it actually said. Those are
They're good.
delicious. I love those. They're
I think
so
it's the same
good,
idea.
and they really hit the spot when you're like having any like Mexican food at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially. I mean, if I'm going to pay because they're glass bottle, they're like over $3. They're kind of worth it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go in a completely different direction. Instead of the hot of Mexico, we're in the middle of winter right now, or just the start of winter, I should say.
Outdoors.
And it finally in the Northeast is feeling like winter. It has
Yeah.
not been feeling like winter so far,
Yep.
and now it is. So I thought of this weird thing on my ride over here, and I don't know why. Somebody's going to steal this idea and make a bunch of money, but I thought I'd share it with you guys because the holiday season is coming up, and one of the biggest things that is a pain in the butt is putting up and taking down Christmas decorations. Somebody may have already made this, and I don't think anybody has.
Okay.
So you know how like for a while retractable hoses were like a big fad. It's like you like the ones that not the ones you wind up, but like the ones
I
that
know
kind of like
exactly
shrink
where
up
you're
and
going.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know why my brain went from there to this idea, but I'm like, all right, well that's kind of cool. I've seen companies make extension cords that are in like a holder and you can pull them out and then let them go and they retract, things like that are neat. What if you, when you were setting up your Christmas decorations on your house, you go up to one corner on the house, this has to be
You
like a
just pull
ranch
it.
or something, and it's got a nested like spool of lights in there. You just pull it to the other side of the gutter. Somebody's standing over there, you clip it on that side and you're good. At the end of the season, you literally pick it up and it just pulls
Like a
back
tape-
into it,
like a
and
tape
it's like a tape
measure.
measure. Amazing idea, 10 out of 10. Somebody's going to steal that and make a ton of money off of it, but I just
Well-
want you to know you heard it here first.
If they do, we have 10 suspects.
Yeah, 10 witnesses.
Yeah. That is a brilliant idea. I didn't know where you were going with that initially. I thought you were talking about like making Christmas lights, that shrinkable material, but you landed that plane well. I
This
like
is
that
why
idea.
you guys are both in sales and I'm not,
Mhm.
because I cannot sell that as a thing,
You
but
can
I do
sell
think
that
it's neat.
easy.
You can position. Did you put up lights this year?
No. I would like to put up lights this year, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So a little insider knowledge as somebody who is in sales, worked with a lot of small businesses.
Sure.
There are businesses in Delaware that are charging to put up. They put up the design, install, and store your Christmas lights. Take a wild guess at what one season of that would cost
I
you.
think it's like $3,000. Somebody told
If
me.
you're close, about $2,000.
Somebody
Wow.
told me. There, we have a lot of them too in Jersey.
Yeah,
Some of the areas.
$2,000.
Is it size dependent? Are you like ballparking
Yeah.
on an average or?
I'm taking your average, probably quarter acre split level home.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. I mean, I get it. It's a lucrative business when you think about it because nobody wants to store extra things. So even just the storage alone of your Christmas
Yeah.
decor is probably worth it to a lot of
Jeez.
people. But then you're also not going up on the ladder to put them up or take them
Yeah.
down. You would think that there's no market for that, but I guarantee
There
there
is.
is.
They sell out,
You see those little signs.
especially where you're at.
Yeah. Oh my god.
There's
pay
people that don't
for
want to
all the
clean
time.
their gutters. So I mean, like they pay people to do that too.
Yeah, but like, dude, so $2,000. That's per month, ballpark, let's say what $110 subscription per month.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Well, you have to think about it from like the business owner's perspective there. Let's say it is a $2,000 house and it takes them even half a day to do one house. They're looking at like $2,000 in one day.
Yeah.
Granted, that's all you're making from that client for the whole season, but you do 10 of those, you do like 10 of those in a week and you're in really good shape.
Yeah.
On weekends. Yeah.
Yep.
And the repeat business has to be huge because you have their stuff.
Yeah. What are they going to tell you? I want my stuff back. And it's like, okay, well, here's the storage fee for the year.
Yeah.
Like, there's at least some type of prorated thing there, I'm sure, if they decide they don't want to do it.
The question I always had: do they supply the lights, or do you buy the lights and they just do everything else? So put them up, they'll store
That
them.
is a good question.
So, from my understanding, and I can't get into a lot of this, they
The Delaware Lights community is going to come after me.
may or may not be a client.
They're gonna be like, stop giving away all of our secrets.
So the one that I'm familiar with, when you start with them, they take they start at the end of the season. So they'll take your current lights down,
Okay.
store them. Then the next year they design, store, and install. So most of it is your lights, but I mean there's small additions.
Then
Most of it's stuff you already bought. That's the
Okay.
genius of it. Their
Yeah.
overhead's nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
great.
they probably buy. I mean, you figure maybe a block of storage units, so whatever that monthly is, and that's your overhead.
Dude, storage units are huge. So pack Christmas lights, put them in bins.
Yeah.
Can't be that bad.
Maybe 3-4 storage units total.
You just got to make sure that you're labeling everything really well. All of a sudden, you show up to,
John
some.
Would you know?
Stevenson's,
Would you
yeah.
know though? Minus like the reindeer out front.
Yeah, I mean, I guess unless you have something very specific out in there, and that's
Yeah.
a good point too. So you're not
If
wrong.
you're paying that money, you're gonna know.
Lights.
You'd be surprised. If
Yeah.
you're not paying that
I
money,
think you're less
not gonna
likely to know.
Yeah.
You're less
If
likely
you're
to
that
know.
fanatical about your Christmas lights,
You're hanging
you
them
know
yourself.
what's in there.
You're
Well, that's true too. Yeah,
So what is tasteful and what's tacky in Christmas decor?
I think Christmas decor is tastefully tacky.
Yeah,
It's not.
It's an oxymoron.
It's not a time where less is more.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. However you want to do it, do it.
I
Yeah.
agree. Do you guys personally prefer like all sorts of different colors and everything, or like just the white lights for the class of it?
If it's my house, I love there's like a blue LED that's kind of going
Mhm.
around. I think
Yeah.
that looks really clean, crisp, classy. Like that's how I like things. I also completely respect the people that go the Clark Griswold route because that's
Yeah.
traditional Christmas.
Yeah, fair enough.
My
Fair
parents went the other route. They did white lights,
Yeah.
which look really nice.
Mhm.
But as a kid, I'm like, can we get rainbow lights?
What about on the tree
I do both.
So it's
at
funny.
the same time?
Yeah.
That's the first. I've never met anybody like that.
We string white lights, all the rainbow colored ones, and we
Mm-hmm.
do garland and like all the fixings. It's like the tree gets everything
I like
essentially.
white on
That
a tree.
me too.
Yeah.
I'm a white tree guy.
So
That's fascinating. I've never heard of
It
anybody
adds
doing
more
that.
light to the tree, so
Yeah.
I think it looks neat. It kind of because all the different colored lights are great for the pop of it,
Mhm.
but you can't see any of the ornaments because they don't make
Yeah.
enough light for you to see any of it. So like if you have decorations that are personal to you, they're just going to look like any other decoration. If you
Yeah.
put the white lights on too, it actually shines on the decorations and makes you see them.
I wholeheartedly agree. That's why we're both white light.
Yeah.
I've just never seen somebody do a hybrid.
Well, you know what? I'm breaking the norm.
let me give you this. So the Christmas tree I have at home is a fake tree. Chan's allergic to pine. Yeah. So the colored lights, and this year we went to check on the lights to make sure they still worked. Half of them didn't.
Yeah.
We go searching down through our like Christmas bins and we find a box of Christmas lights. I'm like, it's a huge tree and this is exactly what we need to kind of finish the tree. So we put it up and then we find out that the top half of the tree now has the blinking.
It's a strobe.
It is the funniest looking thing. Shan hates it, but I'm like, I kind of like it.
We-
It looks funny because it's half the tree not blinking. The other half
Yeah.
is.
We bought ours. Ours is actually kind of neat. It has a color changing option. So like I have just the white lights because we like to do all the different options.
Yep.
But ours actually has 3 settings on it for the strand because it's a fake tree as well.
Okay.
It was mainly because Shannon was spending so much time at our house for a
Mhm.
while that we didn't want to poison her with a pine tree, I think.
So
And then
neither
it's-
one of
we-
you guys do.
And then
real
we just
trees?
got used to it. So we
I
like,
always.
yeah, we
Oh,
got
man.
used to it. Sidebar,
That's
it's a
just
really
terrible.
bad year to get a real tree this year because all
So
the
dry.
drought.
Yeah,
They're like
it's
saying
bad.
it's a really high risk for like tree fires. But yeah, so like we had the fake tree and it's pre-stranded with these strands that have a color changing function on them. So you could do like white on them if you wanted to. You could do like this old school colors or like neon bright colors.
That's kind of sick.
So it was kind of neat to have like the
Cool.
different options.
That's pretty dope. I think I got to look around. I think we're cutting a tree down this year. Like
I've
taking
always
the
wanted to do
chainsaw
that.
out.
You don't have a tree up yet, do you?
No, not yet. We do a live tree down every year.
What's the right time of year?
I saw a lot on Sunday. Every
Yeah.
car that I drove
It's
past
a
had a tree
little
on it.
soon. My best tree has lasted 5 weeks, and you don't want it to. You don't want Christmas to
I
happen.
was gonna say Christmas in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? When you take yours down, like we enjoy it.
The
for a
day
week.
after Christmas.
That's
No,
nuts.
we do it. So we try to have it up probably a week after Christmas. Once you hit
That's it.
January, like 6,
New Year's,
Oh,
it's
easy.
coming down after New Year's. It's coming down for sure. If I don't have that tree down by January 2nd,
Really?
something's going on.
That's crazy. Yeah,
My goal
I
is
like
usually it's 10 days post Christmas. Typically, is the goal.
I move on. You have to move on to that lull of nothingness that is January into.
No, you don't. You got to cling to the
into the
happiness that
spring.
is Christmas.
I cling to my birthday
Well,
being
and
1
to be
month
fair,
away.
Christmas at your house. It's a little
it's a little
different.
underwhelming. Yeah, that's okay.
So yeah, I typically try to get 5 weeks out of it. So next week is going to be a Christmas tree week.
Nice. I like
So
it.
When are you going? Where are you going? Do you go to a farm or do you go to the ones that are already cut down for you?
So I've never cut one down before. I want to do it.
Oh, really?
Because I mean I have the chainsaw. Like I
Dude,
want to
you
cut
need
one
like
down.
a little saw. It takes 2 minutes.
Yeah, but it's more fun to use power tools. Jeff.
They may not let you.
It's bad.
I don't
It'll be
need it.
fine. I'm not going to light
He's
anything
just
on
gonna
fire.
pretend that it's not there. He's gonna pull it out of his jacket and just
No, they have
zip
an
it
issue.
down.
I can see I have an issue with the gas ones because of the noise. It's
They're
bad.
not going to have it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna
Um,
you just don't. Like, you're right.
You definitely don't. But it's more. It's
more-
cooler.
I get it.
I'd bring an axe if I could.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So previously we've always bought them at a lot, but this year I want to go out and do it. I looked at it last year. Here's the stupid part. I'm doing all the work. Like I'm driving to the tree farm, cutting the tree down, dragging that shit back, having it. Like, I'm doing everything.
the truck at least. You're not throwing it on the top of your
Yeah.
car.
But it was $20 more than the tree I ended up getting because I
It's
got
an experience.
the experience is manual labor for me. What
That's
the
what
fuck
you're
you mean?
paying for, dude.
Well, they clearly
Imagine.
broke the process there. They understand that they can make money off of
I
it.
get to experience working harder and feeling Canadian.
We always did it.
Hey.
So my dad always took us as kids, and it was fun because a big part of it, I'm sure for you and Emily, was like, that was fine. But we would go around for.
What the fuck's that supposed to mean?
I'm sure you don't care as much when you're 8 years old. You probably care a little bit more.
No, I very much care.
Jeff was very particular about his Christmas tree when he was
We all
growing
were. We
up.
all kind of
I
went
went
out,
to
found
Four
one that
Locks
we
last
liked,
year.
and then it was like a selling.
Yeah.
Person had
Yeah.
to like sell their tree, and then the best.
Well, that
one
paid off in the long run.
Yeah. Well,
That's so funny.
was
Well,
always fun.
I love that that's a market in general that you can like go cut down
tree
your own
farms?
tree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it's fun. You've never done it. It
Yeah.
is fun.
But like, apply it to any other business. What if you got to give people the experience of building their own cabinets?
And I made money off of
Yeah.
it. I'd say that's a brilliant marketing idea.
But it's stupid.
It certainly is. And guess
Like
what? You wouldn't be one of my clients.
No,
And that's okay because maybe somebody else would be.
I'm going to pay you to drink my beer, flirt with my wife, and I'll build my own closets.
I've heard of stranger things that people ask, people to do with their wives. So
I'm sure, but that's still so annoying to me. So we'll see. If I'm not getting charged an arm and a leg, we'll cut my own down. But otherwise, we'll go a lot.
that,
I carried it home one
Dude,
year.
the $20 is worth it. It's fun.
Is that? Yeah,
It's
okay.
fun. It's fun. You can have hot chocolate, make a day out.
it's
Go
an
for hour.
experience,
I
Brandon.
got hot chocolate here.
I'm just saying. You're looking for the Christmas experience.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm sure there's a pine
Right.
tree in town you could chop down if you really wanted
Nothing
to.
like going
I
to
carried my tree home the first year. We got it from a bar up the road.
it's like going to the Chick-fil-A parking lot. Dude.
Yeah.
That's a good tree.
Brandon's out there. That'll do.
Try the tree farm.
Typically, it's a Rita's.
Yeah.
Honest to God,
Your
typically
town,
it's a
your
Rita's.
town sounds crazy.
It's you know where I'm from. I go back home. The trees here don't do the trick. I go back to Delco and get trees.
That's the most asinine thing. Actual trees here. You could go like,
What are those? Fake?
Delco doesn't have real trees.
They're like the birds. They're actually satellite cameras. They're not real birds. The trees are actually 5G
Farms are-
radio towers.
That's different. I agree with you there. If I'm going to go to a farm and cut down, it's one thing. Like no one haggles out here. It's only well, that's the price. That's the price. I'm gonna go. I want to go like argue with like an Irish Catholic guy in a Rita's parking lot.
Oh, God.
How much do you think you save on
Oh,
average when you do that?
$5, but it's fun. Some
It's the principle of the
That's
thing.
why Brandon goes late. He lets him get desperate.
That's
all that
sweat a little bit.
We're not getting rid of this inventory.
Sorry.
We gotta go.
Isn't child support doing the 15th
Yeah.
usually?
Oh my
$50
gosh,
bucks.
that's so
How
funny.
short are you?
Oh man.
Okay, I'll leave.
Well, gentlemen, I think that is a great wrapping up point for today.
Overall, I think Dead Rabbit was a win.
It did it for me. You
Yeah,
know,
it did the trick.
it's good.
Very good.
I think the benchmark for Irish whiskey for like good, not good is JMO, and we all kind of agree to clear JMO. So
Sure.
good Irish whiskey.
Absolutely. Good to keep on the shelf for anybody interested.
Yeah, for the holidays when
Absolutely.
your in-laws come over. Dead Rabbit.
Yeah.
Just don't bring up any of the gang stuff.
No, leave the gang stuff out, especially during waste management.
Exactly.
All right.
Different mob.
In the meantime, I'm Brandon. He's Chris. Special guest host Jeff. We're the Whiskey Gingers this week. We'll see you later. I can't do Jeff and Chris next to each other.